There are occasions I meet people and people you hear people say, uh, this South African country or South African country called Swaziland. Swaziland nowadays it's called Eswatini. Or you find somebody telling you, Ivory Coast has changed its name to Cote d'Ivoire. I want to give a few examples of places which seemingly they have changed their names, but they have not. I only know of a country like Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso used to be called, I think, Benin. No, it used to be called Dahomey. Yeah, Burkina Faso used to be called Dahomey, and then it changed its name to Benin. Why did it change? It changed its name to Burkina Faso. Why did it change its name into Burkina Faso? In their vernacular, just like in Kiswahili, you can say nchi ya wastaarabu, or a country of straightforward people. That is what they call themselves in. So it's like we here changing our name and calling ourselves nchi ya watu wastaarabu, or a country of upright people. It is only Dahomey which changed its name to Burkina Faso. But these other ones, they did change their names. When Africa was being discovered, that is what we are being told. These people came with names. You see, in Ghana, there used to be a lot of gold, so they called it Gold Coast. And in Cote d'Ivoire, there used to be a lot of elephants there, and they would take ivory and take it to Europe for business. So that coast where they would go for gold is later on called Ghana. And the coast that they used to get a lot, they used to kill a lot of elephants for the ivory, they called it Ivory Coast. And you see, Ivory Coast was colonized by France. So the name Ivory Coast in French is Côte d'Ivoire. Coup is coast, d'Ivoire, voire is ivory. So coast of ivory, Ivory Coast. But then the country reached a place and said, we will no longer allow, it's just like in Kenya, you go out, you find some places they call our country Kenya or Tanzania. So they just said, no, we don't want anybody to call us Ivory Coast, to call us whatever they call in Germany or whatever. Our country, even if you are speaking in Kiswahili or Kibukusu, just call our country Côte d'Ivoire. So it is just the same name, Ivory Coast, but now they banned everybody from using any other word and apart from the French word. Eswatini. Eswatini from the time immemorial used to be called Eswatini. Now, when colonialists came, Swatini, they could not pronounce Swatini, Swazi. So they call it Swazi. And then land, Swaziland. So it reached a time when the country decided to use its old name, that is Eswatini. So it has not changed its name. It just insisted on using the traditional name that was there before Europeans came. Then we have a country neighboring India. Nowadays I hear people calling it Myanmar. And you ask anybody, he'll tell you that it used to be called Burma. For people in Nairobi, you know Burma Market. The thing is, when Europeans went to India, they asked those people, what is the name of this place? And they were pronouncing it in such a way that the British thought it was Burma. But recently they said, no, we are going to revert back to our former name, Myanmar. I mean, it is not reverting. It is not reverting. It is just that even they themselves used to pronounce the way they were pronouncing from time immemorial. But the difference here is that spelling. So linguistic came, those who are fluent in English and those who are fluent in the language there. So they came up and said the proper pronunciation or the proper writing of the original name, it is more near Myanmar than Burma. So they just changed the topic. And before I go to another place, I want to tell Nairobians that during the Second World War, those soldiers who were coming back to Kenya after the war, they came from Burma or Myanmar and settled somewhere there. They started a marketplace for people who had come from Myanmar. Just like we have Mau Forest, there's a place called Sierra Leone. The soldiers who came from Sierra Leone were given that part of the... So it is that way. You will also find somebody telling you that the Chinese town or city of Peking has been changed into Beijing. No, the city still is what it used to be called, but the people who are, just as I've said, the people who are fluent in both Chinese and English, they came up and said Peking is if you write Beijing, sounds more nearer the original sound than Peking, so they changed that. Just like Luyas, you find that Luyas, they call themselves Abaluya, ABA, but you find others calling themselves Avaluya, AVA. Now, one time somebody will come out and say the Luya pronunciation, Abaluya, is more towards V than B. So if someone does that and convinces a lot of people, you'll find that from then henceforth, people will start saying, oh, Luyas have changed their name from Abaluya to no. It is just that somebody who is fluent in the two languages has come up with, we said that if you're using the English vowels, then you should call it Beijing. That is what happened to people like Mao Zedong, TSE, and then TUNG. Mao Zedong, it was changed to Mao Zedong. Mao Zedong. People are saying that Mao Zedong, it doesn't it's not pronounce. If you pronounce it with a D instead of a T, then you are pronouncing it nearer, much more nearer than the native language. Thank you.